So again, this is assignment number 26. We are going to do at the most 1 or 2 of these on this side. It's just giving you an idea of how to add your zeros. We're not moving any decimals yet. So on this one, it says, for each exercise, keep dividing until you have 8 digits in your quotient, or you get a remainder of 0. Do not round your answer. So let's go ahead and look at the first one. I think we're only going to do 2, and then you won't have to do the rest. So who knows, is 7 going to go perfectly into 37? No. So who knows what I need to add? We need to add a decimal to be able to keep on going. So go ahead. It's as if we're taking $37 and we're dividing it among 7 people. We're going to see how much money they're each going to get. So once I have that decimal there and I don't have to move it here, I just move it to the top of the roof and we're done with that. That decimal should not appear anywhere else in your work. So let's go ahead and start. You start with the first digit. Does 7 go into 3? And put an O for a no, because some of you on the next number know it's going to be 5, but some people are putting a 5 right here. By putting a 0, that tells me I cannot put one single thing over that 3. Then 7, we pick up the next 2. So 7 into 37 goes how many times? 5. So I'm going to put a 5. And by the way, there's a pattern. This first worksheet is just showing you the pattern. It is daddy, mommy, sister, brother, which is divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and then we go back to daddy and follow that same pattern. So let's go ahead. Again, that's a little elementary, but it helps you remember the steps. So we daddy divided, mommy multiply, 5 times 7 is 35. Sister subtract, you get a what? A 2. You have to write sort of tiny on this. And then I need to keep going. So who knows what I have to put on here?
0.
Sam, make sure you're focused. Put a 0. And, okay, sir, let's just, don't worry about the answer. That's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the process. So again, put an extra 0 and bring it down. And then we go back to daddy and divide again. 7 goes into 20. How many times? 2. And then mommy multiply. 2 times 7 is 14. Sister subtract. You should not be borrowing. 20 minus 14. You should know what that is. What is it? It is 6. Then we need to keep going. Sister subtract. We need to brother bring down. We need to put another brother. Have him come down. And then once brother comes down, we go back to daddy and divide. 7 into 60 is 8. Mommy multiply. 8 times 7 is 56. Subtract. And you get what? 4. Have to keep on going. Put another brother. Bring him down. 0. And then go back to daddy and divide. 7 into 40 goes 5 times. 5 times 7 is 35. Sister subtract. Get a 5. You have to keep on going. Brother bring down. 7 goes into 50 how many times?
7.
Charlie, are you getting this down? It goes 7. 7 times 7 is 49. Sister subtract. Brother, I have to get 8 digits. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 3 more and then we can stop. So I subtracted. I'm putting another digit, another 0. Brother bring down. 7 goes into 10 how many times? 1 time. So put a 1. 1 times 7 is 7. Sister subtract. It's 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're almost there. We need 2 more digits. So I need to put another brother. Bring him down. Okay. Then, after I bring down brother, go back to daddy and divide. So 7 into 30 goes how many times?
3 or 4?
4. So it's going to be 4. 4 times 7 is 28, we're almost there. Subtract. Oh, I don't think it's repeating. Subtract. Okay. But we haven't had a 20. Oh, right here. Okay. So again, go ahead and put, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put in one more 0 and bring it down. 7 goes into 20 how many times? 2. 2. And you can stop. At this point, you may stop because it says keep dividing until you have either 8 digits or it stops. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it says look at the last digit. Go down here. The last digit is 2. So its code is N. So wherever you see a 1 on the bottom, you put the letter N. And don't worry about it too much. Just, we're only going to do these 2 anyway. If you want to finish the whole thing, more power to you. But we're just going to do these 2. We're going to do this one, and then we're going to flip it over. Then, okay, do I have any decimal in that dividend? No. With that divisor? No. So I'm going to, what do I do with the decimal? Bring it straight up to the roof. And then I'm going to start dividing. Does 4 go into 1?
No.
O for no. Can't put anything over that 1. Then we pick up the 15. Does 4 go into 15?
Yes.
How many times? 3. 3 times 4 is 12. Sister subtract. We get a 3. Brother bring down. And then go back to daddy and divide. How many 4s in 39?
9.
It's 9. Very good. 9 times 4 is 36. Sister subtract. I have to keep going. What do I need to put?
0.
A 0. And bring down brother. Every time we bring down brother, go back and divide. Does 4 go into 30?
Yes.
It is going to be, what? How many times is it going?
7.
7. 7 times 4 is 28. Sister subtract. We have to keep going. What should we put?
A 0.
A 0 and brother bring down. Does 4 go into 20?
5 times.
5 times exactly. 5 times 4 is 20. And now we can stop because it came out to be a remainder of 0. So we can stop. And that one, it ends with a 5. It ends with a 5. So that is the letter E. So where I see a 3 at the bottom, I put the letter E. Now, if you have nothing else to do in your life, you may finish this. But is it required? No. It is optional. You do not need to do any more on this side. So I'm going to flip it over. That's just that was just an exercise to get you into that pattern of divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Then flip it over on this side. Yes, we're going to do the whole page on this one. So on this side, we are going to divide, but we're also going to be doing one other thing. This section, we're going to round it to the nearest tenth. This section, you're going to round it to the nearest hundredth, or the cent, which is the same place. There's 100 cents and $1, so it's the hundredth place. And this last section, except for this problem, you're rounding, oh, these 2 word problems. It's going to tell you something different. We're going to round it to the nearest thousandth. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to say, if you write real tiny, you can do these 3 here. We will maybe do one of them, and then I'll do another one that's this way. So let's go ahead and do this one. So what do I do with this decimal? Bring it up, and then we're done with that decimal. We can start dividing. Does 4 go into 1?
No.
O for no. Does 4 go into 18?
Yes.
How many times?
4.
4. So 4 times 4 is 16. Sister subtract. I get a 2. Brother bring down a 1. Then I go back to daddy and divide. Does 4 go into 21?
Yes.
How many times?
4.
5. 5. 5 times 4 is 20. Now, I'm already at the tenths. We rounded to the tenths, but you can't round if you don't have a rounder. So I suggest right now you put a line, because we're going to round it back to this number. But I'm going to subtract one more time. And what do I need to add if I need to keep going?
0.
A 0. and bring it down. 4 goes into 10 how many times?
2.
2. And now I can stop. We're going to round it to the 10th. This is going to be closer to 445 or 46.
45.
Because that, you look to your neighbor, and that's not big enough to round it up. So the final answer is, just put it clearly somewhere near that. It is 4.5, and you're going to look for a 4.5 over here. Okay, right here, and you cross out the letter and the number. Make sure that we can always still see that answer in case you've made a mistake. And the answer to what is used for astronaut sandwiches is going to spell out with the letters that are left. Then, let's look at this one because this is dividing by double digit. So, the first thing we have to clear up is on this. So, this is on your line paper. You should get out your line paper now. Okay. All right. Which number goes inside the little division box? Yes, it's always the first guy, the first number, no matter what it looks like. If it looks smaller or bigger, it does not matter. It's always the first guy gets to go into the nice warm house first. Then divided by the last guy. And by the way, if we're dividing $3 among 17 people, are we even going to get $1? No. So it's going to be a number much smaller than 1. So what do I do with that decimal? Bring it straight up. And then, again, I'm going to start this right away. This one I'm rounding to the 10th. Isn't this the 10th place right here?
Yes.
So I'm going to put a line right here. So this helps me know that I need one more. In fact, I could already put a 0. I must take it one more place. If I'm rounding to the tenths, I need to go to the hundredths. If I'm rounding to the hundredths, I need to go all the way to the thousandths. And if I'm rounding to the thousandth, I need to go to the 10,000ths. We'll see how that works in a second. So rounding to the 10th, so I need to take it to the hundredths so I can see what my rounding number is going to be. So let's start. Does 17 go into 3?
No.
O for no. Does 17 go into 36? How many times do you think? 2. It is 2. It's going to be 2 times 17 is 34. Sister subtract. Brother bring down. And go back to daddy, divide. 17 into 20 is what? 1. And we're done. Because I only needed to see that so I can say, is that closer to 2 or 3?
2.
It's closer to 2 because that's not big enough to round it. So let's bring our answer over here, 0.2. And see if we can find that. That is right here. And it might appear a second time. I don't know. Okay, no. So let's go down to the number 10. And I'm going to leave you with the single digit divisors. So we're going to divide the number 10. This time it's in the section where you're rounding it to 100th. So I'm going to put it right here. Okay. Which number gets to go into the nice warm division house first?
The 46. 46.
Yeah, always the first one. Oh, and by the way, how much money did we get on this? If we divided $3.60, everybody would get about 21 cents. So, then this one. So, 46.96 divided by 15. What do we do at the decimal? Bring it straight up. Now, if I'm dividing, we've got $46. We're dividing among 15 people. Will we all get at least $1?
Yes.
We'll probably get about how much?
2.
How about 3?
3, yeah.
I think so. We're going to get $3 and something. So let's go ahead and start. Does 15 go into 4?
No.
O for no. Does 15 go into 46?
Yes.
How many times?
3 times.
You guys are good. My sixth graders didn't know that. Okay, so 3 times. 3 times 15 is 45. Subtract. Bring down brother. Then we go back to daddy and divide. Does 15 go into 19?
Yes.
One time. Mommy multiply. 1 times 15 is 15. Sister subtract. Brother bring down. And I'll stop saying that after a couple days. It's just so you get that rhythm. All right. So, again, brother bring down. After brother, we have to go back to daddy and divide. So 15 goes into 46 how many times? 3. Now, I'm going to draw a line right here because this one we're rounding to hundredths. But can I stop here or do I have to go on one more?
One more.
One more because we need to see how we're going to round that. So 3 times 15 is 45. Subtract. And what do I do to bring down something? There's nothing there.
0.
Put a 0, bring it down. And does 15 go into 10?
No.
Put an O for no. So this is going to be easy. We're done. Is this closer to 313 or 314?
313.
313, because that's just a 0. It has no rounding power whatsoever. So put your 313 somewhere near that problem. And it's way down at the bottom. Okay. So we're done with that. Rounding to 100. Now we'll go ahead and let's do the number 13. 13 is a good one. I love double digits. I like dividing by 3 digits. They're fun. Not your kind of fun, but my kind of fun. So, on this 13, again, I have to put my little division house. Who do you think is going to go inside the little division house? Yeah, the top guy. Like Top Gun. Top Gun is going to go inside the cockpit. Top Gun goes inside the cockpit. So 5.6 divided by the 24. Oh, by the way, how much money did we get last time? We got about $3.13 each. That's not a lot, but I'll take it. Okay. What do I do with that decimal?
Bring it up.
Bring it straight up. Again, we're starting easy, but it's going to get harder and harder and harder. But baby steps at a time. So 24 into 5?
No.
O for no. Does 24 go into 56?
Yes.
How many times?
I think 3.
Okay, I'm going to show.
Four. 48.
Okay, girls and boys, I'm going to show you a quick trick, because honestly, I don't like dividing by 2 digits, but I use a cover-up method that they don't teach in the textbook, but they should. I cover this up, and I cover the 6 up. About how many times does 2 go into 5? So, dude. Okay. Okay, so that's where I start. 2 goes into 5 about 2 times, so I'm going to try 2. 24 times 2 is 48. Will that work? Yeah, because... What? 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4.
Yeah, I think about 12.
Okay, so anyway, so it's going to go only 2. Then 2 times 24 is 48. You should not be carrying at this point.
8.
It is 8 because it's 2 to get to 50 plus 6 more. So 2 plus 6 is 8. And then I need to, oh, this one, by the way, is the thousandth. In fact, I can actually already put my zeros. I need to go not to the hundredths. I need to go to the thousands, and I'm going to put a line here that tells me I need one more because I need my rounder number. So you might want to go ahead and put that, because this is good news to me, because then I stop right after this number. So I subtracted, brother bring down, whoops. How many 24s in?
4.
Well, careful. If I cover up, 2 goes into 4, 2 goes into 8 4 times perfectly, but unless that's a 0, it's not going to go perfectly. And in fact, here's another way you can think about it. That's like a quarter. How many quarters in 80 cents? 3. So I'm going to go 24, show your multiplication to the side if you don't know it in your head. That's going to be 72. So 3 times 24 is 72. Subtract, what do we get again?
3. Wait, 8. Oh,
You get an 8. So bring down a brother. And what are we going to get again? Another 3. In fact, it is going to be repeating. Guess what this is going to be?
3.
Maybe I better go ahead and do this. So 72. I get an 8. Bring down. And isn't that going to be 3 again? 3. So we can round it. Is that closer to 233 or 234?
233.
Okay. Does everybody have it done?
Yeah.
Slow me down if I went too fast. All right, so that's going to be 0.233. So let's put it over here. That is this one. So 0.233. I'll actually maybe put a bar that shows that it keeps on going and going and going. But it is right here. Cross it out with that letter. And then I think we're just going to do one more. So these two, you just rounded according to the problem, the 15 and 16. So it says, what is the cost of each issue? And when they're saying each issue, they're talking about a magazine. What's the cost per magazine? Are they asking you for the cost for 42 magazines? No, because if they were asking that, I'd probably multiply. And I know that I can't add cost and magazines. I can't subtract cost and magazines. And because I'm coming down to 1 magazine cost per 1, it's probably a division. So a monthly magazine subscription costs $38.50 for 1 year. And in that year, guess how many magazines you're going to get?
12.
You're going to get 12. So I'm looking for the cost for 1. Now, the nice thing about the question is it tells you how to set it up. It says take the cost and divide it by the number of magazines. It's the cost per magazine. So, well, it's the magazine issue. It's actually a magazine. They're not sending you an issue. I don't know why they say that. That must be an English thing. It's the cost per magazine. So I'm going to go ahead and divide it. Does anybody know what's going to go on the inside?
The cost.
The cost, because that came first here. So what comes first is the cost, and I don't need to put the $sign, $38.50, divided by how many months, how many magazines in a year?
12.
You're going to get 12 of them. So it looks like it might cost $3 and something. Anyway, bring that decimal straight up, and then we can start. Does 12 go into 3?
Yeah. No.
No. And I'm going to put O. Now, because I've done math for 500 years, is I don't need to, but for some people, when they divide this and they get a 3, they have a bad habit of putting it here. Nothing should go there. So I'm going to put an O for no. And then, does 12 go into 38?
Yes.
How many times?
3.
3 people. 3 times 12 is 36. Sister subtract, you get a 2. Brother bring down. And on this one, by the way, it says round to the nearest cent. The nearest cent is the penny place, like 50 cents, 51 cents. It would be right here. So I'm going to draw my line here. So 12 into 25 goes how many times?
2.
2. 2 times 12 is 24. Sister subtract. Brother bring down. And I must divide. How many times does 12 go into 10?
Yeah.
No time. So I'm going to put an O for no, because you have to put that number there. Now, if I have a 0, it is the only time that you can bring down another brother. So I'm going to put down another 0 and bring it down. Does anybody know how many times 12 goes into 100?
I just did it. It's 8.
It is going to be 8, because I memorized 15. 15 times 6 is 90. So because that's smaller, it's going to go in more times. That's 16, and that's going to be 96. So it is 8. And it doesn't really matter if it's a 7 or 8. We're done. Is that big enough to round 320 to 321?
Yes.
Yes. So that's big enough to round it. So the cost per magazine is about 321. $3.21, and that's somewhere right up here. And I don't know if there's anything that's listed twice. You might. Okay. So at that point, I've helped you with all your double-digit dividing. You've got the single-digit dividing left, and I'm going to say I'm done.
Wait, can I see the scratch mark?
Yes. Was that 15? Yeah. Got it? Okay, can you guys handle it from there? All right, you can begin.